Hey there, Sheepdoggers, and welcome to Sheepdog's unfair review for Plague Inc. Evolved. I was going to do kind of a Sheepdog plays, just a one-off kind of showing you the game. But to be honest, I think, you know, there's not much to edit, and at the moment there's not that much to talk about in regard, well, to kind of show off or, you know. So I just figured, yeah, at the end of the day, this pretty much is a Sheepdog's Unfair review. So here we are. First off, options. Interface, simple, normal. Auto pause game, extra pop-ups, off. Audio, simple. Video, simple. Controls, fairly simple to be honest. Nothing really that interesting. Accessibility, you'll see a lot of this. Not available because it's in early access. Multiplayer, not available. Official scenarios, custom scenarios, tutorial. Multiplayer seems like it could be quite interesting. Main game, and you can see the different types: bacteria, virus, fungus, neurax, worm, parasite, prion, nanovirus, bioweapon, a couple of cheaty ones which just make it a bit easier and let you piss about. It's kind of almost making it a sandboxy style. And the necrovirus, which isn't out yet in this current early access build, but I have a very, very sneaking suspicion I know what it is. Necrovirus. You might be able to get that. And you can see different symbols. This is how which difficulty I've completed, like I've destroyed the world on. So for most of them I've done them on normal difficulty. A couple I haven't got past the easy. There's we'll have a look quickly. Yeah. Also you got genetic codes. Do different things. DNA from popping bubbles. Decreased chance of mutating. Harder to cure. Mutate transmissions, easier to cure. Mutate abilities, easier to cure, etc, etc. And then casual, normal, brutal, mega brutal. I've done most of them in normal. Brutal's pretty difficult. Mega brutal's really quite difficult. What we're going to do today is, well, I haven't done this before, so we're going to do a speed run, and I'll talk about the game while we go. There isn't that much to talk about for the game, really. There we go. We'll get a biohazard, increase, decrease, harder to cure. Actually, yeah, I'll do that. Spreading by land and minor bonus in all of environments, and I haven't unlocked any of those yet. We will call this virus I called it cat meme in my last stream. We'll call it B-bitis. It's quite a famous virus disease, and it could also be twilatitis, but I feel that's more of a brain thing as opposed to a virus. So here we go. New virus to win, evolve, and wipe out humanity. You have to pop bubbles that pop up. This was originally a kind of mobile app, and it was also on the internet, you know, on the web as kind of a free-to-play game. Things as it are. Let's turn that music down a little bit, shall we? There we go. As it is, it's not really worth the money at the moment, I'd say. It's quite fun to sit there and play, but you know, there's free-to-play versions of this game already, so let's start off here in West Africa. And there you see. And you can see you've got, yeah, it's a B-bitis as a virus. It does have another name which I won't go into for legal reasons. No, but basically you start spreading slowly, and then, you know, as time goes on, you get noticed, and they start closing down the airports and the ports and all that kind of thing. So you have to be careful with your spread. If you spread too quickly, or if your symptoms are too obvious, then you get spotted and you get cured before you can kill everyone. There's something about it that's very fun and kind of fascinating and etc, etc. I can't exactly explain it, but yeah, basically, it's an interesting idea. It's an interesting game. Then again, there is kind of free to play on the web that you can find pretty easily. I can't remember exactly what it's called. Stop that. Stop that. I can't remember it. I think it's called Pandemic. I'm pretty sure it's called Pandemic 2 or something like that. So you can do the basics of it. It hasn't added that much. So unless you're really interested in the game, you want to see where it's going, you know, there's going to be multiplayer and kind of co-op versus and stuff like that. Could make it more interesting. But at the end of the day, I guess the real question as to, you know, whether it's worth it or not, just comes down to you, you know, whether you feel like it's worthwhile putting money down for this game when there's a free version and when this version hasn't added that much yet. You know, I mean, you know, like the difference between the plagues and diseases and viruses and everything, they're not that different. I feel like they need to add more to be kind of to be able to say we've put enough effort into this for it to be its own game. Transmission. So yeah, you've got overview, that's what your little thingy looks like, and the evolution history and stats and stuff. Infectivity and, you know, trends, and then you get how you transmit it. So water, especially in humid environments, ship transition, you want these pretty quickly, so you start spreading quicker. And down here you can see you've got the DNA, which is what you use to buy all these abilities, and then after that you can start you can start getting symptoms, which is, you know, increases infectivity and severity and lethality. I think severity affects how serious the countries take, you know, how serious everyone takes the new thing, especially when they find it. And you can see you've got this as well. Cure, you know, they haven't noticed it yet. How many infected, how many healthy, what the state of the countries are. World Bibitis has not been noticed. Pff, if only. If only. So yeah, to begin with, there's not much to do. This is very much just sitting about and clicking. You know, there's no kind of it very much still feels like a kind of mobile app web game. You know, kind of sit back and just tap away for a bit. Myself personally, I do enjoy it. You know, I've streamed it quite a lot, and there's quite a few people who will come in, sit down, you know, really enjoy chatting with each other and saying, you know, oh, make this disease and do this and start here, and, you know, we'll sit back and destroy the world with each other. So yeah, you know, it's there is definitely something enjoyable here. And if you haven't yet played the mobile app, which as I recall is very much pay to unlock stuff, you know, this feels a bit better to me. Like, if you wanted to speed up like this, you'd have to pay on the mobile app, as far as I know. So I much prefer this style of just one-off payment, and then you get everything and it gets unlocked, and it's much nicer, really. Okay. So yeah, as you can see by those red ones popping up, like there, we have now infected Brazil. We infected them. Rash is fine. We infected them through the sea, which is actually really useful right now because Brazil has an airport, whereas this one does not. What I tend to do is I tend to start in a fairly dense population. Like West Africa, they think they've got 300 million people, and then spread to places with airports and There we go. We're spreading. The virus spreads very rapidly. Very, very rapidly. And yeah, you can see 100 million infected, and if you look here, you can see the total. You can see the places we've gone to. So we're kind of spreading out from Africa. We'll hit the Middle East and then go into Europe and etc. We'll have to evolve, however, to deal with the cold climate, because we started in a hot climate. We have to evolve to go to a cold climate. And yeah, that's pretty much the game. I mean, they've got variations. This is a speed run, for example, and I think you can compete with your friends online to get the fastest or whatever. And you know, multiplayer, co-op, or cysts. Yeah, okay. Well, actually, what we can do is we can hit this one here, which makes it more likely to hit rich regions. And we can also do drug resistance and cold resistance, which will make it easier for us to spread to richer countries and everything. We just hit England. Well, we hit the UK, and they've noticed us. We don't want any deadly or severe diseases yet. We want to spread more, because they've noticed us. They've started working on a cure, but they're not working together. They're not closing down the airports or anywhere else. So at the moment, we're still reasonably safe, and we can keep spreading. Let's grab that. So you see, Africa's and South America, Brazil are getting heavily infected now. And hopefully we'll hit Australia as well, and yeah, we've got Australia. Hopefully it will spread out from there and from the US, and we'll manage to... Oh, the islands are the difficult ones. These ones around here, and New Zealand and so forth are the real difficult ones. Like, even if you start in them, you know, there's always a possibility of not hitting some. But you can see our... we're getting a lot of DNA very quickly, because this is what virus is it spreads very fast. So it kind of makes it the easiest one, which is why I did it for the speedrun. There are a couple that are a real pain in the arse, because they make it more difficult. I'd say, you know, there's a certain feeling of like, well, this doesn't take much skill. But when you get to the harder difficulties, it really is a bit of a struggle, you know? So I'd say... Oh, bird 2, that's very useful. Yeah, I'd say, you know, it's not the easiest game in the world. You know, you are going to... Okay, it's gone on the watch list. We need to start. Should I start getting symptoms out? Oh, okay, let's get that and that. This makes it harder for them to work together, harder to cure me. And also, we can start getting the genetic hardening, which will make it harder to research. The countries will start working together soon. But we spread out a lot. I'm not sure. Let's have a look at what we have. Okay, there's a couple of islands. There's New Zealand. Yeah, you see the islands here. The Bahamas. Bahamas? No, the Caribbean. Yeah, Caribbean, Iceland, Greenland, New Zealand, New Guinea. We just hit the Philippines, and we just hit New Guinea. That's good. But you can see, like, the ships and the planes are pretty much, well, at least half of them are infected, which makes it easier for me to hit these countries. What we really need is, there we go, we've got New Zealand. Ah, they've started shutting down their airports, damn it. Okay, all we need to do now, immune suppression. Where's that? That's this. It adds lethality. At this point, not a bad thing. So we'll see what we can do about that. I'm a little bit worried about our boats. We don't have... Oh, there we go. We hit Iceland. Now I just need to get Greenland. I think we've got everywhere else. Let's just... No. Oh, fine. Screw it. That'll be fine. So you can see they've started working on the research, and we've hit 47%. Now it's just the Caribbean and Greenland that isn't infected, because they've got an airport. It's slightly easier for let's just evolve. This basically means you get random mutations. Can be really useful. There we go. We hit the Caribbean. It can be really useful to have that kind of thing. Inflammation. So now it will start randomly getting symptoms and ways of spreading and stuff. I have a really bad feeling that I'm not going to hit Greenland and I'm going to fail this. Anemia. And Mexico is leading global cure effort. This is really annoying. They're going to do research. If you don't break it, they get even more research done. It's very annoying. Sometimes it can be a little unbelievable. Paralysis. Damn. Okay. Yeah, you can see they're shutting down airports. But what you really want to do is you want to spread through the air to begin with, and then go by the sea, because that's how you're going to infect these little countries with no airports. A little weird to my mind. I just hope they can find a cure for Bebitis. Seizures. Come on, all I need is a ship going... Ah, okay. Where's that ship going? Okay, come on, Russia. You need to infect them, guys. There we go, there we go. We got it, we got it. Oh, thank God. Let's give a little more... cold resistance? Yeah, a little more cold resistance. We'll put the genetic reshuffle, and we'll do the drug resistance. No, we won't, and we'll do sweating and fever. And you can see the spread of it now, and how many people in the world are infected, which is 6 billion. I've basically got everyone. Canada, some of the colder places are having issues. So actually we'll... Oh, we did get cold resistance. Huh. Okay. I didn't realise I'd done that. I need to increase infection. Yeah. And... there we go. No. Increase infection. I haven't increased the lethality too much, so we should be fine. But what we do need to do is start taking out the people trying to cure, basically. The thing you don't want to do is you don't want to burn out your dysentery. Oh God. Yeah, the thing you don't want to do is you don't want to burn out your infected. You know, if they die too quickly, then your disease will just burn out and stop. I think, to be honest, we're sorted now. Pulmonary fibrosis. That's that one. Makes it very hard to cure. Useful. I don't think they'll manage to do anything to us now. I think that's pretty much all she wrote. So we've managed to... Insanity. Hello, Insanity. And we're going to push the lethality up now, because decomposed bodies, with that symptom, it means that dead people still infect people. So it's really useful. And in this kind of stage where you've still got a couple of countries holding out, like Canada, for example. And you know what we're going to do, actually? We're going to get the drug resistance #2 because Canada's a rich country as well as being cold, so that's kind of these guys up here are always the last to fall to me, because I usually start in hot countries, and it means that cold rich countries I usually start in hot poor countries, so cold rich countries are difficult for me. Well, Bebitis has been known to cause nausea in me. Anyway, you can see the death toll is skyrocketing now. The lethality is very high. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. No healthy people left in the world. That means that we're sorted and we don't need to worry about anything. You can see the research has virtually stopped. Mexico is leading the research, and it's, yeah. So that's the game. That's your objectives. I'm hoping they'll add a bit more interactivity and Walking Dead symptom, insomnia and anemia. But yeah, you know, that's the game. You know, if it interests you, it's not that expensive, but I really can't tell you it's worth it, to be honest. I enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to the kind of multiplayer symptom just popped up in the multiplayer kind of setup and everything. It looks interesting, and I think it could be fun in regards to doing streams, you know, every now and then, maybe with a couple of people, you know, doing like co-op or versus and stuff. But that's just me, you know, that's how I'm seeing the game. At the end of the day, you know, it's fun, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily worth it. You know, you can play the free-to-play version. There's the mobile app as well. Bebitis to destroy humanity. Who knew? I knew. I predicted this. I predicted this. Oh dear. I've also almost got all of the symptoms. I'm missing one. Systemic infection. But yeah, there you go. 9,000 left, 600 left. So, the last two countries left were East Africa and Iraq. It's weird how that can happen, like, just literally random countries who got infected first. And then you can see, you know, you can share the news on email, I guess, or Google Mail, I get, maybe, G+, I don't know. Twitter and Facebook. Yeah. Game type speedrun, cure progress, plague. You know, it took me 515 days to destroy the world. And you can also rewatch it, and you can see the spread. Whoop, I needed to speed that up. So yeah, basically, you know, this is actually kind of simple to review. It's in early access. I know people, you know, have an issue with me reviewing early access games sometimes. To be honest, the only time they have a problem with me reviewing an early access game is when I say negative things about a game I don't particularly rate. Which I think is a bit silly, but, you know, I'm not going to judge much. But yeah, you know, it's early access. There's gonna get more features and stuff. Whether you think those are going to be worthwhile is up to you. I'd say, to be honest, there's no rush on this one either. Wait and see. You know, if you don't want to spend your money, if you're not sure if you should spend your money, then don't, basically. Yeah, at the end of the day, there's no reason to rush out and get this game. You can just wait and go, well, you know, if it turns out cool, you know, I can do an update video later as well, of course. And, you know, maybe do like a versus or co-op or whatever when the multiplayer comes out. But yeah, you know, there is the game. Quite entertaining. It's one of those games you kind of jump in and jump out of when you're feeling it, and you just do a little bit of for a bit and then go off and, you know, it's a bit of a time killer. It's a bit of a way to play something enjoyable without getting really in depth or anything, and sometimes that's what you want. So there you go, guys. I mean, that's my unfair review. there's not much more else to say aside from I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.